In a sun-drenched village in Africa, where red earth met the sky, lived the girl whose beauty made strangers stop and children smile. Her name was Jessica, but this is not a tale of beauty. This is the whisper of jealousy, kindness, and a crown no one could see. Each night, her mother would sit on a stool, gently oiling and weaving Jessica's long black hair. It fell past her waist like a river of silk. Her mother said softly, Jessica, your beauty is your light, but your heart, that is your real crown. Jessica would smile, innocent and full of dreams. But one cruel morning, her mother coughed and never stopped coughing. As Jessica held her hand, crying beside her bed, her mother whispered with her last breath, My daughter, always be kind. That is your greatest beauty. Her eyes closed, her hand grew cold, and Jessica became motherless. Her father, Mako, was a weak man. He remarried a woman named Grace with painted lips and an icy smile. She came with her own daughter, Celine, who wore glitter but had no soul for kindness. Celine painted her nails, watched television, and laughed loudly, while Jessica, she swept, she fetched water, she served, and she suffered. And when she was hungry, Grace, her stepmother, would coldly say, Go outside if you want food, eat from the street. One day, Jessica found mouldy bread by a gutter. She ate it under the moonlight and whispered to the stars, Mama, why did you leave me? She cried. Jessica's only comfort was her hair. She would comb it gently, watching herself in a cracked mirror. She said softly to herself, They can take everything but not my hair. In the village, her braids were the talk of the market. Men stared, women whispered, children followed her in surprise. They would say, Jessica, your hair, they are like threads of the night. You are so beautiful. But at home, only silence, only chores, only pain. Celine watched with jealousy in her eyes. She asked her mother, Why do people say Jessica is beautiful? I'm better than her. And her mother would say, Yes, you are the most beautiful, my love. Jessica, she will never amount to anything. That night, Jessica lay on her tiny bed, holding a faded picture of her mother. She said in her mind, Mama, I promise I will never let this world make my heart bitter. One hot afternoon, a drum beat echoed. It was a town crier. People of our land, the palace invites every maiden to the royal dance. The prince shall choose his bride. The whole village burst with joy. Grace rushed to prepare Celine. She bought her new dresses, shoes, makeup, perfume. But Jessica, no one prepared her for anything. She looked inside, she looked outside, and watched the whole city bustling with preparation. Grace, her stepmother, would say spitefully, You, a servant girl, you will never step foot in that palace. Jessica watched from behind a curtain, tears slipping down her cheeks. And in her thoughts, she would say, Mama, I just want to be seen. The night before the dance, Jessica stared into the mirror, brushing her hair one last time. And she said to herself, They can have the palace, at least I have this. But Grace, her stepmother, was watching. She crept in, with scissors in her hand, and with one cruel snipe, Jessica's braid fell to the floor. Grace, her stepmother, said, hissing, Let me see if they still call you beautiful. Jessica screamed. She clutched the mirror. Her head was bowed, her pride stolen. On the night of the royal dance, Jessica sat in the corner of the house, her head covered, her soul trembling. Then came a knock on the door. An old woman, A neighbor who had silently watched Jessica suffer for years entered with a simple white dress. She said, "Child of destiny, go. Destiny is waiting for you." Jessica ran barefooted through the dust. Her bowed head shimmered under the moonlight. At the palace gates, the guard stopped her. But then the prince saw her. He stood up. The music halted. The crowd turned. He walked to her, eyes wide, and he said, "You are the one." They danced. All eyes watched. Even without hair, Jessica glowed. Grace and Celine, her stepmother and stepsister, froze in disbelief. When Jessica saw them, she fled. That night, Grace beat her, shouting, "You embarrassed us. You are nothing but a curse." She locked her in the storeroom. No food, no light, just silence. But the next morning, horse hooves thundered. The prince returned with guards. The prince screamed in her compound, "Where is the girl with the bowed crown?" He broke open the door. Jessica was weak but standing tall, stepped into the light, and the prince said gently, "I saw your soul before your beauty, and your soul is everything." He placed a crown on her bowed head. The people cheered. Even the sun seemed to shine brighter. Years later, Queen Jessica stood before the people, her head still bowed, but her heart still kind. Queen Jessica said, "Never let anyone define your worth. Not your looks, not your past. Beauty fades, but kindness, that lives forever." Jessica lost her hair but found a crown. She lost her mother but became a mother to many. And Grace, she watched from the shadows, unseen, unloved, and forgiven. Because jealousy dies in silence, but kindness echoes for generations. From this story, the lessons to be learned. Lesson number one: beauty is not in the hair, but in the heart. And lesson number two: kindness, even in silence, is more powerful than cruelty with a loud voice. The third lesson: faith favors the heart that does not grow bitter. And lesson number four: when the world strips you of everything, your soul can still shine. This is Whispers of Uche, where every whisper is a truth wrapped in misery. Until the next whisper, stay kind, stay royal.